A playground of high school is shown at the beginning of the film, where a football coach is seen, who was shouting at his players because of their bad performance. Then he sends all of them enraged from there. Afterwards, he glimpses an object lying on the floor. Someone appears there as he bends himself to pick that object. The scene drops years later. The staff room of the same school is seen, where the teachers' meeting was being held. All teachers were discussing a topic here. They all leave as the meeting is over. At the same time, a teacher is discussing something with the principal. Meanwhile, the principal reminds that she has left the keys inside, so she moves inside to take back those keys. The football coach arrives there when she is leaving after picking the keys. He begins to misbehave with the principal while blocking her way. Then the football coach asks a pencil from the principal. She hands him over a pencil, then that coach stabs the same pencil on principal's hand. After this, principal escapes from there, hitting the keys on his face. Meanwhile, she knows that she has been locked here by that coach, and the same teacher was standing at the doorstep with whom principal was talking before. That teacher says to principal, "First of all, you will have to bring the door keys." So principal immediately brings those keys, and she unlocks the door, and principal comes outside instantly, and she locks that coach inside. In the meantime, no one knows what had happened with that teacher. She kills the principal with the scissors. After this, the leading character named Casey of the story comes on the scene. Other friends of Casey are also shown here. There is one of his female friends named Delilah, and Casey perhaps had affections for Delilah. But Casey was the loser in every case. After this, a girl named Mary Beth is seen here, who was the newcomer of the school in the city, and a boy named Zeke is seen here, who used to deal the drug while filling it in pen. Later, the side of the staff room is again seen, where all teachers were talking with one another. Football coach is also seen here, who was drinking much quantity of the water. Then the same teacher arrives there who was the killer of the principal, and she smiles looking at the football coach. It indicated that they had the partnership. After this, Casey is seen, who discovers a strange insect in the playground, and Casey brings that insect to his laboratory teacher. But that insect was dead. The water is poured on that insect mistakenly, and that insect is revived. Observing it, that science teacher puts it into the water. Now that insect begins to swim in the water. Seeing it, the teacher touches it. Consequently, that insect is divided into two parts. Now both parts of that insect begin to swim. When that science teacher again tries to touch it again, then he bites his finger. Afterwards, Delilah, one of the friends, is seen, who was taking bath. After this, his teacher comes to him all of a sudden, and his teacher was behaving as an insane. And she informs him a great trouble is going to fall on us. Delilah's friend considers as this teacher has perhaps a mental disorder, so he embraces that teacher to relax her. Meanwhile, many hair of that teacher come in the hand of him. Witnessing it, he becomes so terrified, and the teacher meets her in immediately. Casey and Delilah's friends are seen here, who were relating the story of that teacher to another teacher. Teacher tells them that teacher was suffering from cancer. She perhaps had died for this cause. At the same time, Casey notices this, that football coach is wet and standing in the playground for a long time. When Casey is going to the office where he meets Delilah, and they both begin to communicate with other, they were thinking now that the mysterious happenings are occurring in the school, and Casey observes this coming into the office. As someone is approaching there, then they both hide themselves, moving into a cupboard. There were the same killer teacher of the principal and the football coach, who were drinking much water. Suddenly, a school nurse comes there, and the football coach captures her, and he ejects the same insects from his mouth, which had been observed in the laboratory, and he leaves one of the insects into the ear of that nurse. And Delilah was feared, witnessing all, and she begins to scream. Hearing her shout, and football coach reaches there, and he opens the door of the cupboard. In some way, Casey and Delilah run from there while saving themselves. Principal reaches there when they are running, who was actually dead. She was also infected like other people. At the same time, they both run away in fear. Now Casey called the police officers there because of this incident, but police officers find everything normal when they come at school. At the same time, principal leads one of the police officers to her office. Casey observes when they come outside, that police officer is looking mysterious and referred. That police officer has also infected because of that insect. After this, Casey and his parents return to home. Reaching at home, Casey's parents scold him badly, because his parents had been insulted because of his fault. They also snatch his cell phone from him and also locks him in a room. Now Casey's parents were perhaps thinking as he has become a drug addict. Now Casey wanted to talk with Delilah because she was also a witness. Due to this, she had worried. Now he tries to escape from his window to meet Delilah. When he is coming out of the room, then he notices that his school teachers are standing outside, and he falls down as being afraid. Then he notices that there was nothing. Next morning, Casey comes to school, and he meets with Delilah coming into the school, and he discusses the same topic. Contrarily, the school staff room is seen, where all teachers were drinking much water while sitting there, because that insect alien which was absorbed in their body. It used to get powers through the water. After this, Zeke is seen who was dealing the drug, and his consumers were purchasing drugs from him coming there. Meantime, Zeke's teacher comes to him and starts abusing him, and she also says so well to him. Zeke observes teacher's behavior so mysterious. After this, Casey and Delilah's female friend is seen, who were discussing the same topic sitting in a library. Then Casey goes into the science laboratory. They reach the same place where that insect had revived for the first time, but they don't find that insect there. They were still discussing about it. Then Zeke and Mary Beth arrive there. After this, the science teacher also comes into that laboratory, and they all ask about that insect from their teacher, but the teacher does not respond them. Now Zeke was taking it worthless, so he begins to leave that place. Then that teacher stops him and he begins to attack everyone there. Then Zeke attacks his teacher. That teacher's fingers are detached because of his attack. Then those fingers begin to move on the floor as an insect crawls, and its root-like threads begin to generate from his fingers. When the teacher tries to end Zeke, then he injects his drug into that teacher's eye, and that teacher has died after being injected with that syringe. Later, they all come to the house of Zeke. They notice after coming here that Zeke has at his laboratory of drug making. At the same time, he puts the alien insect into the rat cage, and he pours water on it. Then that insect absorbs into the body of the rat, and it begins to infect its body. Now all people had come to know this fact, that alien insect can be ended through the use of drug. Zeke says to his friend, "We all will have to take drug here. It is possible that any one of us may be infected by that alien insect. Now I'll take the drug here except Delilah." And Delilah runs away. Now it had been revealed to everyone that alien insect has also infected Delilah. Now Casey tells everyone if we kill the alien queen, then everything will be resolved. Now they all reach the school to kill Principal, and they ask Principal to take the drug. When Principal does not take the drug here, then Zeke fires his gun at Principal. Now they all think here that they have killed the wrong person, but Principal is revived suddenly, and she is transformed into her real appearance. And Casey and his friends think that she was the queen alien. Now everything will be alright at school. On the opposite side, football coach and his players are seen, who were gaining the power after being wetted in the rain, and it was being observed by Delilah's friend. Observing it, he goes to others to inform about this reality B, but all ask him to take the drug before entering. But Delilah's friend drops the drug down. Now it refers this, that he has also come under the infection of those aliens. Now Casey, Zeke, and all their friends were so worried, because they had faced the shortage of the drugs. Then Zeke tells his friends that there is much quantity of drug in his car. Afterwards, Zeke and Casey move to the car to take the drugs. Meanwhile, football coach and his infected team attack them. Casey hides in a bus, but Delilah is in the same bus, and Casey also runs from there after being escaped. On the other side, Zeke was not discovering the drugs from his car. When he closes his car trunk, then he notices his teacher there, who attacks him. His car faces accident at the same time, and he observes that his teacher's cut head is itself moving, and it is again attached with the body of the teacher. Seeing it, Zeke runs away. On the other side, Mary Beth and her friend are seen. Mary Beth comes to a real look here. It is exposed here that the real alien queen is Mary Beth. She attacks Casey and Delilah's friend. She drags Delilah's friend into the pool, but Casey and Delilah's friend are escaped in some way, transforming into a real look. Mary Beth begins to search for them. Zeke also comes here, but Delilah's friend stops Zeke to go to Mary Beth. But Delilah's friend had also infected because of falling into the pool. Now Zeke had entrapped between them. Then Casey approaches there to rescue him, but Mary Beth makes Zeke unconscious till that time. Now she begins to come after Casey, but he entraps her in a door in some way, and he attacks her with the filled pen of the drug in one way. Consequently, that alien queen Mary Beth meets her and at the same place. In the end of this movie, it is seen that everything was in its normal routine, and Casey becomes the champion in front of everyone, and Delilah also starts to develop affections for him. The movie completes on this scene.